This story is from the subreddit Paranormal Encounters and it is titled Me and My Sister's Imaginary Friend Attacked Us Every Night. When I was very little, I would often play in a park within driving distance of my house quite often. I hardly saw my friends outside of school, and my siblings were either not there at the specific time or were playing without me, and I was a very socially awkward child, so I didn't want to approach anyone. But one time I was very bored and lonely at this park, and I decided to make up a friend to play with. I named him Thomas, and he was slightly older and taller than me and had short black hair. I don't recall what we did at the park, but I brought him home with me afterwards. Fast forward a while, me and my older sister would begin having joint night terrors involving him. We both slept in the same room at this time. I can only recall one dream we had, in which he was crawling on the wall and the ceiling like a spider. It was only at this time that I found out that my older sister had an imaginary friend that looked exactly like him, and was also called Thomas. In addition, my elder sister, who slept in a different room, also had this imaginary friend when she was around my age. It's crazy because I genuinely thought I made him up on the spot at the time. I asked my sister about it, and it turns out she also remembered him at pretty much the exact same time as I did. I'm not sure what that means. Additionally, whenever we had one of these night terrors, we would wake up with long scratches on our bodies. Waking up with scratches on my body continued for years after the night terrors actually stopped. Sometimes they were in places that I could have accidentally scratched myself in the night, but sometimes they would end up in places that would be impossible for me to have reached. Me and my sister did not share a bed, so it couldn't have been here either. I believe my mother, being a Christian, assumed he was a demon or something similar and did some prayers over the house to get rid of him. But thinking about it now, I wondered if he actually left me alone. I kept waking up with scratches for a long time after, and for as long as I remember, I've always considered myself unlucky. Additionally, the synchronicity between my sister and me remembering him at the same time makes me wonder if he's going to come back soon, as we are planning to move house in the near future. I've always considered myself a skeptic when it comes to the supernatural, but I just can't explain this occurrence. I've asked about it and it's definitely happened. There is a 0% chance my sister is lying about this happening to us. Thanks so much for listening to this story. If you would like to hear the full Imaginary Friends episode and more creepy tales, head to Real Spooky Stories podcast on all audio streaming platforms. Bye!